Hi everyone, how are you? I am back amongst the kitties, and that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. I was away for a while. My face is a little bit fuzzier as a result. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of you folks are probably wondering where I've been for a little bit, and where I've been. It's quite the story. So for a little over a month now, I've been off fighting aliens. So where I was, I recently completed a 37-day stay at an inpatient rehabilitation facility. I went there specifically for substance abuse. Well, more specifically, alcohol. I've been, a long time ago, I got bitten by the booze bug, and I decided to finally do something about it. I'm really lucky because I have just a ton of support, from friends and family and loved ones, Heidi, kids, everything. Yeah, they're definitely very supportive. I'm also lucky in the fact that, that was my choice to go and do that. It wasn't because, I had some judge banging a gavel saying, just you go to something. No, it's nothing like that. I didn't have, an employer just being just we're gonna let you go if you don't sort your stuff out. No, I just, I realized I needed some assistance. I'd been a problem drinker for a lot of years. A lot of years. I I drank a lot. A lot. I got a lot of support from the folks I work with, my weather people, and further up the chain, and it was one of the reasons that actually kind of helped to spur the decision in the first place, because I knew that I had a good team that was kind of advocating on my behalf. Team of bosses and bosses and stuff like that, to where I actually felt confident that I'd say hey, I got this issue and I'm gonna need some time to get it sorted out. And they're like, oh crap, we didn't know, but yeah, definitely. And that was good. That was really, really good. As of right now, me filming this, it's Sunday, and I was discharged from the facility on Thursday, and I was back here on Thursday evening, which was nice. I haven't seen the place in close to 2 months. It's basically another, because part of it's because of the COVID stuff, and then the other part of it is the rehab stuff. This is so stupid. Maybe I should have written some stuff down. That was another thing. I actually did. I started writing some stuff down. I'm like, hey, this is maybe, what I'm gonna say. And then it just felt kind of, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird. And maybe it was just because I was just kind of in my own head, or some of the anxiety of kind of bringing up the topic. I don't know. Yeah, this is the first video that I wanted to film before I actually got back into filming things in earnest. Because I've been here for a few days, and I wanted to have a few days just to kind of be here and just to get back into the groove of stuff. I was, butchering a bunch of things yesterday, and that was good. Just kind of getting back into the operation. I wanted to spend some time with family, and then get reacquainted with the cats, and then just re-comfortabilized back in these surroundings before I started filming stuff. But then it's there's so many times where I have the habit of it and just pull the camera out and be like, oh my gosh, this is a great moment. Oh my gosh, I could just start a webcast because it's beautiful out right now. But I wanted the first thing that I really kind of filmed to be this. Because if I started filming a webcast, or if I started filming other stuff and just posting it without giving any sort of explanation or context, people are like, where were you? Do you want to explain the last, almost 6 weeks? We haven't heard from you. So, the experience that I had and the treatment that I received was extremely beneficial. And I would say that what I ended up getting out of it was far more than I had originally calculated for. I went into treatment just very open-armed, kind of chomping at the bit, just wanting to, like, all right, let's do this. Let's get some stuff figured out. But my goals weren't really, clearly defined, and they were just kind of amorphous. Just kind of like, yeah, get better. Get better. Have better thinking. Don't do the drinking. What I ended up getting out of it was, oh gosh, as time went on and as the treatment evolved, and as the treatment team got to, know me a lot more and know what it is that I kind of needed, because that's, what they do, that's their job. They were able to then help pinpoint and target a number of different things, and then help me to very clearly define, like, what my goals were and what it is that I was hoping to achieve and what I wanted to get out of the experience, and then we worked towards it. And yeah, it was work. It was work every day. Things were very well, organized and regimented, and there were assignments, and there was a lot of group time, there was a lot of one-on-one time, and then there was, of course, there was time for reflection and introspection, and yeah, a lot of that stuff. I only got my phone once a week for about like 20 minutes, and that was just to pay bills, but honestly, that was nice. That was nice. I was able to call Heidi on these kind of wall-mounted, they look like payphones, they just didn't have a coin slot. Definitely during like the first few days, first week, conversations were just kind of short and limited and everything, and I just wanted to really kind of focus on what it was that I was there for. It's interesting because as time went on and as a lot of my treatment stuff kind of evolved, a lot of the, alcohol stuff like started to really kind of take a back seat to a lot of the other just underlying issues, which of course the underlying issues were the things that were contributing to why I was, basically anesthetizing myself every night, like lots of what's going on over there, brothers, oh goodness, and then they frolic. Again, I was not anticipating like the degree and the scope of just how much we're going to be digging into tons of stuff. I mean, picking apart myself in a major way. Oh, and yeah, talking about all of you and how you all have made me feel, and how I feel so anxious to try to provide content for you, and it just got to be so much, and then I couldn't help but just to pop those bottles. No. I did talk about it. Yeah, I know. But just that's one of the many things I talked about. I mean, going into, cripes, just, picking apart different elements of childhood and different kind of things that contributed to this one thing, and then this kind of thing over here, and then which, helped to exacerbate this thing over here, but then it was kind of blanketed by another bunch of things. That's the other thing you realize with much of anything. The reason I was drinking as much as I did and for as long as I did, and I'm saying for years, there's no, like, a lot of times one silver bullet solution. or silver bullet answer, I guess you should say, for why anyone really does anything. It's like a network, it's a net of interrelated parameters. And that's the same thing it was with me. And I'm still uncovering those parameters. I'm still figuring a lot of that stuff out. Oh, look at him. He's going up there. Oh. Oopa-looka. Handsome boy. And the work's not done. You know, the work is not done. I mean, of course, you know, the work is never done. There's the kind of, to be more cliche. But this was a good start. I kind of think of it in terms of if like you have someone who needs their teeth cleaned and they've got like really thick layers of plaque on their teeth, just big old, just porcelain veneers, years of sugary abuse caking your molars. And then the dentist goes in there with like that water pick, which is ostensibly like a jackhammer but for mouths, and it breaks up all of those plaque chunks. And that's kind of what this last 37-day stay was. That was like the big heavy duty like chunking of those big kind of brain plaques in a psychological sense, not like an actual physiologic sense. You have plaque in your brain, you need to see a cardiologist. No. Psychological plaque, different. I don't know, you know, what the future is gonna hold, but I do have a lot more confidence in it than I'd been having for the last fair few months prior to me going and taking on this adventure. Especially, you know, last few months before I went, it was kind of rough. Just working really hard, being away from family, just isolated, losing a lot of interest in just stuff like this, just dialing things in with work, with life, and just not getting along with people that I love, people in my family, you know, just on so many different points of like so many different metrics of like what kind of life is supposed to be and the goodness of it and the quality of it. I wasn't doing that, or I wasn't feeling it. Even if I did have it, maybe wasn't feeling it. And I just was, I was knocking them back, just raging. Like, it took me years. It took me a long time. Years and years and years to even come to admit that I had a problem. And then it took years after that of me knowing, like, yeah, I got a problem and I probably should do something about it someday. Yeah. But I was able to maintain-ish and then delude myself into feelings that I had a lot more control over things than I actually did. And then to where I kind of got recently, where it's just like, I've been trying to figure this thing out on my own without help, and it ain't working. So yeah, I went and got some of that there assistance. I am happy to be back, you know, doing that whole all the things that you hear from certain types of you know, wellness communities. Hey, take her easy, one day at a time, you know, give me the grace to do the things and to courage to know the other stuff. Yeah, a lot of that. I had a few members of the therapy team, I guess, say that I have a bit of an aptitude for listening and communicating and asking like salient questions and things like groups and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to continue to learn a lot more as far as you know, that brain stuff is concerned. Psychology specifically. There's a mosquito. Get away from me. That mosquito is going to be bummed because I'm NA now. I'm like, oh, Derek's back. Yeah, it's party time. Mosquitoes want to come out. They can get loaded. Well, I definitely am going to be speaking about, you know, my experiences, you know, the different kinds of things leading up to, you know, treatment and then the treatment experience itself. And a lot of the different things that I learned. The academic portion was I was not expecting that, but learned a crap ton of stuff. Crap ton. How much is a crap ton? At least that much. That much. And for however long, I'm gonna have to kind of just talk about some of the stuff just on like, you know, like webcasts and everything, but I'm probably gonna be shifting different things away into like some separate kind of channel at least. Talk about some of this other stuff, you know, just to keep like the care stuff into like the tiger stuff and the BCD stuff one side, and then you know, the other stuff another place. Organization, it's good. Some of you might be kind of worrying like, oh, 37 days, that's really great, but what about now? There's an outpatient portion of the particular treatment that I'm receiving, so there is like an additional X amount of months, which I think like in total, you know, with like the inpatient stuff and then the outpatient stuff, it's going to be about like a 6 months of accountability, I guess you could call it, where if I want to be able to, like, you know, make the claim like I did it, I'm gonna have to, you know, submit to like regular kind of like, you know, blood tests and even like random kind of like, hey, we want you to come down to the clinic and blow on a tube, and it's like, all right, cool. So yeah, that is going to be a thing. That's okay. I don't mind that. Pretty much like an enforced abstinence period. Definitely going to be good to help to really kind of clear out the head, help to repair a lot of the nervous system stuff, a lot of the neural connection type things, reform and remake new habits, all that stuff. Like sometimes people are like, your cravings, and can you be around it? Like, no, I was at the grocery store and there's like, hey, there's the beer section. And it's like, oh yeah, I used to go there a lot. But like some people sit there and think like, if he sees like a beer ad in the magazine, get that magazine away from him because he's gonna want to eat it. It's like, that's not how, certainly not how mine is. Mine was a lot. But mine was, in a lot of ways, it's worse. Just because it's like a whisper, just like, hey, like, you know, you should have one. I'm gonna talk. Oh my gosh, because I'm gonna go down rabbit holes, and I'm gonna tell you. Oh, I'll tell you all about. I'll tell you. I had systems. I had systems in place. Window that included windows of time, just math, accounting. Playing around with a lot of rehydration science. It was, oh boy, I turned drinking into a very professional affair. It was another one of my careers. But there's certainly too much for me to get into all in one video. And I'm glad I didn't write anything down. I'm sure that, because here's the thing, I am going to go through and I'm going to edit. I'm going to just kind of tighten it up, clean it up and everything. And I'm sure that there's going to be things where I'm just like, ah, crap, you should have talked about that. Well, maybe if you would have written it down. But this is okay. This is okay. But I'm going to definitely, over weeks, months, years, I mean, yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot about this and about that struggle. A struggle that a lot of people deal with. So yeah, we are going to talk about a lot of that, but it's going to definitely kind of migrate away from at least, you know, platform-wise, we'll find another spot to powwow, I guess, eventually. But it'll be here for the time being. I'll open it up to questions, and please ask questions. Go down into the comment section and ask me questions. Now, there's certainly there's some things I'm not going to be able to kind of, you know, disclose, divulge. Some things that I'll choose to kind of not talk about, at least maybe for the time being. But yeah, definitely, if you're curious about, I guess, like the process and just different things, and if some of you may have gone through similar kind of things, and maybe you can relate to it, I'd love to hear from you down in the comment section below, and I'll go through the comments and I'll answer some of the questions and then respond to some of the comments in a follow-up video. And yeah, that's all I got. One moment at a time, one moo at a time. And I forgot to do the thing. I was gonna do a whole thing where I was gonna talk about this guy that came to our school when I was in grade school. He was an older gentleman. He must have been in his mid to upper 60s, and he had white hair that was kind of like pomaded. I mean, it was pomaded white hair, and he like played a guitar, and he had a big voice like this, and he would sing about, you know, he was like a guy that did the Dare circuit. He did the Dare tour, and I just remember him singing this song, just, I'm high on life. I'm high on life. Yeah. Oh, but I am so high on life. I've been doing shots of life. Just ripping bong hits of life. Lines of life. Anyway. Thanks for listening. Thanks for waiting. Sorry to make you guys wait while I was getting my head unfuzzied. I got the fuzz out of here, but it can't. This is where it went. That's what happens. Did you not know that? All the ladies, if there was a female in rehab, she came out with a beard. That's God's honest truth. Have you ever been? You wouldn't know. All right. Anyway, put your questions below, and thanks a lot. And I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye.